My beloved child, I grieve because you have allowed your heart to slip away from the path I appointed for you. You have let wrong choices stain the purity I placed within you. The consequences cannot be avoided and you must face correction. Yet before that takes place, I give you a moment to receive grace to grasp the mercy still extended toward you. This is the final chance for you to return before every door closes. You have let pride quietly take root in your heart, making my voice grow faint amid the noise of ambition. You have looked to others longing for what they possess, forgetting that I placed within you a reward no one can steal. In that comparison, you have choked the very blessings I prepared for you, and so your soul has grown dry and heavy. My child, understand that. My words today are not to condemn you, but to awaken you. You stand at a dangerous threshold. On one side is abundant life in. My love on the other is wandering in pride and discontent. The world may applaud and praise you as you chase after what it exalts, but heaven weeps because you are forgetting the most precious gift. I call you back not to burden you, but to remind you that the flame of your first love can still burn brightly if you will bow in humility. You think you have been abandoned when your prayers go unanswered, but my silence is never absence. It is the furnace that refines the pause, that tests the true motives of your heart. When comparison and envy take over, you fail to see that you are losing the joy and contentment you once had in me. You look at the pace of others, at the successes they hold, forgetting that I, myself, am your inheritance greater than all things. You must learn to lay down this distorted gaze, or you will forfeit the destiny I prepared. I see the seeds of bitterness beginning to root within your soul. They do not grow in a single day, but little by little, through discontent, through doubt, through the whispers of deception. You think I am slow, that I have forsaken you, but in truth I hold you back because your heart is still weighed down with pride and selfish desire. I never bless what will destroy you. It is because I love you that I prune. It is because I treasure you that I let you face the fire of discipline. You were not created to be a vessel without worth, nor to be dissolved into the faint currents of this world. From the beginning I engraved your name upon my hand, placing within you a purpose so unique that even the angels marvel. Yet when you forget this, your soul becomes ordinary, living only to exist rather than to shine. I did not call you to blend into the crowd, but to reflect my holiness. Each time you compromise with the lesser things, you lower the value I sealed upon you. Do not waste this calling, for it is not only to adorn your life, but to display my glory on the earth. My child, I have seen the weariness in your eyes as you let the world pull you into its meaningless whirl. You think you are living, but in truth you drift like a boat without a harbor. You forget that I breathed life into you, not so you could dissolve into dust, but so you could bear my eternal imprint among humanity. When you lose sight of this purpose, you make yourself an empty vessel, stripped of the fragrance I gave you. I do not grieve because you fail, but because you compromise and choose to live beneath the worth I set within you. I remember the story of Esau, who sold his birthright for a single bowl of red stew. Do you see? He reduced an inheritance of immeasurable value to a fleeting moment of satisfaction. Scripture says he wept to regain the blessing, but it was too late. My child, that is the very warning I give you. When you forget your sacred purpose, you will easily trade it for what passes away. Do you not know that a single wrong glance, a hasty choice, can cost you the heritage I designed for you? The root of the matter is not your weakness, but that you have allowed your heart to settle for the temporary. You see the glittering light of the world and think it is true light, yet it only leads to darkness. You want to be like others, to chase their recognition, and so you lose the sound of your own calling. My child, I made you unique, yet comparison and pride have caused you to forget. I see your chase after the momentary so much that the eternal is treated as a luxury. Return, my child. Come back to the meaning I set upon you when I laid my hand upon your life. You are not the product of chance, but the masterpiece of my design. You were born to shine, not to wither. You were called to stand apart, not to dissolve away. Remember that blessing is not found in the applause of the world, but in my presence covering you. Once more I call you to place yourself in holiness, to remember You are a vessel bearing my glory. If you do not see this, mediocrity will cling to you, wearing down your faith and hope. I did not create you to be enslaved to what is meaningless. Yet if you search for purpose elsewhere, you will continue to thirst without ever being satisfied. I speak this not to frighten you, but to make you pause and reflect. Let your heart grow tender again to recognize the truth: you are straying from your original calling, and only I can bring you back. And from that very place, you will see another door opening. If forgetting your purpose leads you into mediocrity, then comparing yourself to others will steal away the joy that is rightfully yours. You will not only lose meaning, but also place yourself under the yoke of envy and discontent, which slowly erodes the faith you hold. There are moments I see you looking to others more than to me. You begin to measure your life by their speed and their success, believing yourself lesser. From there, the simple joy within you turns clouded, replaced by dissatisfaction. You no longer see the blessings I placed within your reach, simply because you crave what was never meant for you. This very comparison is robbing you of the peace I desire you to live in each day. Behind those comparisons, I see a heart longing for recognition from men. You crave applause, you yearn for approving eyes, and when it does not come, your soul falls into discouragement. Yet you have not realized that the praise of this world is as fleeting as a breath. True recognition comes only from me, the one who has known you even before you were formed. You will never feel enough if you measure yourself by fragile standards, but you will always be whole when you know you are in me. Let your heart return to its place of rest. When I say I am enough for you, it is not a shallow comfort but a firm declaration. For I am your eternal inheritance, the reward that no one can steal. If you keep your eyes fixed on me, you will see that all others possess is passing away, but what I give you is eternal, unchanging. True joy can only be found in fellowship with me, not in comparing yourself with the world. If you continue to let comparison rule, bitterness will soon take root in your soul. When joy is lost, doubt begins to creep in. You will start to think that my silence means abandonment, that my delay is rejection. That is the dangerous slope that leads you to the threshold of darkness. And once bitterness takes hold, your faith will be eroded little by little, drawing you away from the light I have prepared. Nothing is more dangerous than a heart that allows bitterness to enter. I see you beginning to question my love when your prayers remain unanswered. You take my silence as denial instead of recognizing it as refinement. Slowly, discontent becomes a whisper, then a whisper becomes a shout within your mind. You do not realize that at that very moment, darkness has found its opening. The root of bitterness does not come from circumstances, but from your attitude toward them. When you expect me to act in the way you desire, you unknowingly place yourself above my will. And when I do not act as you think I should, a smoldering anger begins to grow. Bitterness is born from hidden pride, the belief that I owe you an answer. But I am not a servant to your will. I am the Lord, and I know the time that is best. Remember the people of Israel in the wilderness. They witnessed countless miracles. The Red Sea parted, manna fell from heaven, water flowed from the rock. Yet at the slightest delay they murmured, complained, and doubted. My goodness! As a result, that generation died in the desert and never entered the promised land. My child, bitterness not only robs joy but also steals the blessing. Do not let yourself walk that same path. Return, my child, before bitterness takes root. Instead of nurturing discontent, lift up thanksgiving even in the days without answers. When you learn to trust me in the silence, your heart will be healed. When you choose gratitude instead of murmuring, light will flood the place where darkness seeks to dwell. It is in those very moments that you will find me closer than ever, for I have never left you. If you allow bitterness to reign, your faith will slowly wither, and you will no longer discern what is true from what is false. A clouded heart will lead you into wrong choices, taking you far from the path I have laid. But if you humbly return, I will uproot every thorn within and sow the seed of peace again. You must understand that darkness only enters where light has been extinguished. And if you let bitterness blind you, you will easily fall into pride and impatience, which will dim your spiritual sight. My child, when bitterness takes root, pride and impatience grow with it. I see within you questions no longer born of humble seeking but of judgment. You think I act at the wrong time. You assume I am too severe. You want me to alter my plan to suit your desire. In that moment, your spiritual eyes begin to dim. You no longer see my hand at work in all things, but only view delay as failure. The cause of pride lies in forgetting your true place. You are the created and I am the creator. When you think you know better than I, you unknowingly place yourself upon the throne that belongs to me alone. Impatience springs from the same root, the lack of trust that my timing is perfect. You want everything to arrive quickly according to your will, and when it does not, you rush to carve your own way. Yet you fail to see that your haste is drawing you away from the good plan I have written. Look again at the story of King Saul, and you will see a clear example. When I commanded him to wait for the prophet Samuel to offer the sacrifice, Saul grew impatient. Fear under pressure drove him to act on what I had not permitted. As a result, he lost. My covering and his throne slipped into another's hand. Do you see, my child, how one act of impatience was enough to alter destiny? Pride and haste always go together, and they open the door for blessing to depart from your life. Return to humility, my child. Do not rush when you do not yet know the whole story. Know that my silence holds as much weight as my spoken promise. Allow me to write each chapter in its proper place, and believe that every detail is woven with wisdom. If you learn to wait, you will see miracles unfold at the appointed time. If you humble yourself, you will witness my glory revealed in full, for I never place a crown upon a heart that refuses correction. If you continue to let pride lead, your heart will soon seek substitutes for me. You will easily idolize your desires, placing fame, results, or achievements above my presence. And when that happens, satisfaction will elude you no matter how many heights you reach. Therefore, my child, listen closely, for I am bringing you into another warning about the idols formed from your own desires. When pride and impatience guide you, you will soon enthrone your own wishes where only I should reign. The things you long for, be it recognition, success, or accomplishment, once they occupy the highest place in your heart, they instantly become idols. I see you chasing after success, thinking your soul will be satisfied when you obtain it. But the truth is, the more you pursue it, the emptier you become, for no victory can replace my presence. The deeper cause lies in making the blessing the goal rather than allowing it to be the fruit of communion. You seek results to prove your worth, yet your worth does not come from what you do, but from the one who created you. When you begin to worship the outcome, you unknowingly abandon the giver of the outcome. Thus, no matter how many summits you conquer, your soul will not cease to thirst. The emptiness only grows, for you are drinking from a source that cannot quench. Come back, my child, and lay down the false thrones. I did not call you to live for recognition, but to live in surrender. I do not seek achievements, I seek your heart. If you surrender your desires to me, I will transform them into dreams aligned with my will. If you place me first, all else will fall into its rightful order. When I am at the center, you will no longer need to chase after accomplishments, for they will come to you in their season. Remember, what I long for is not a life empty in the pursuit of fame, but a soul filled with light and peace. If you choose me over idolizing your desires, you will no longer fear loss, for what comes from me endures forever. This is my final call for you to return to your first love. The love that does not calculate, does not demand, but simply longs to dwell in my presence. For it is that very love which will keep you standing through every storm and keep the flame of faith burning until the end. My child, I am your Father, the one who sees every unspoken desire, the one who understands every silent sigh within you before it ever escapes your lips. I am neither distant nor indifferent. On the contrary, every movement of your heart is remembered by me, and not a single tear you shed is overlooked. You may think that I delay, that I remain silent, but this silence is not abandonment, it is preparation. For there are things that if I were to give them to you before your heart was rightly aligned, would become a weight that crushes you, rather than a blessing that lifts you. You do not realize how many times I have restrained my hand, not for lack of love, but because My love is too great to let you collapse under a burden you are not yet ready to carry. You have come to me many times with fervent prayers. You have asked me to open doors, to lift burdens, to draw you out of the darkness. But I have seen clearly that within those words the motives were not always pure. You wanted deliverance not to draw nearer to me, but to satisfy your own longings. You desired miracles not to glorify me, but to prove to others that you were not forsaken. You asked for answers not out of surrender, but to affirm yourself as specially chosen. You have not seen that when the heart bends toward self-interest, when love becomes a transaction, prayer loses its fragrance of devotion. I cannot bless a heart that comes to me only to receive, with no deeper yearning to simply know me. Consider this. My child, from the very beginning, I chose you not because of anything great you could accomplish, but simply because I love you. I found you in darkness. I lifted you when you fell. I called you mine when no one else would acknowledge you. That love has never changed, nor has it faded. Yet when your love grew cold, when your steps ceased to run toward me with zeal, the bond lost its first strength. You let self-interest seep in, turning a holy relationship into an exchange. But I did not create you to be a bargainer. I created you to be a child who lives in the arms of the Father, trusting and obeying even when you do not yet understand. Do you remember, my child, the first day you returned to me? Your heart trembled, tears flowed, and you longed for only one thing: to dwell in my presence. In that moment, you asked for nothing, you measured nothing. Simply having me was enough. How greatly I rejoiced when I saw that small heart broken, yet radiant with humility. That posture made heaven resound with a new song it bent, my ear to hear every whisper of yours. Even now I long for you to return to that first posture, a heart humble, tender, reverent, and grateful. Such a heart draws me more than any song of praise. You think I do not hear when you pray, but I have heard. You think I do not see when you toil, but I have seen. You think I have turned away, but the truth is that my eyes have never left you. I am watching each step, weighing each matter, and waiting. Not because I hesitate, but because I long for your heart to return. For if you continue to ask with a cold spirit and self-serving love, anything I grant you will only become a tool for your pride. I cannot do that, for I love you too much to indulge such distortion. Understand this, my child. When I say no, it is not rejection, it is protection. When I am silent, it is not neglect, it is a chance for your faith to grow. I loved you even when you did not know how to love me. I called your name even when your lips were strangers to mine. I held your hand through valleys, and I am still here waiting for you to return with the tenderness of the beginning. My child, I do not seek perfection in you. I know you are weak. I know you stumble easily. What I seek is a true heart without deceit, without self-interest, without coldness. I do not require clever strategies. I long for total surrender. I do not care for ornate rituals. I desire simple love. You may fall 100 times, but if each time you rise and return to me, my heart still trembles with affection. Yet if you stand without falling, but your heart drifts far away, it wounds me more than any failure. Return, my child. Lay aside your schemes and selfish motives. Return to your first love, when you longed only for me and needed nothing else. Let holy reverence blaze again in your heart, so that every moment in my presence becomes more precious than any outcome. You think the reward lies in what you receive, but the true reward is me, the one who is with you, unchanging, unfailing. And when you take that posture again, I will arrange all else. You will not need to chase miracles, for miracles will follow you. You will not need to beg for provision, for I will supply you abundantly. You will not need to worry about the future, for it rests in my hand. Everything begins with your heart, a heart soft, humble, burning with love. I have loved you from the beginning of time, and I will love you forever. Do not let that love be replaced by ambition, my child. Do not let it be suffocated by self-interest. I call you not to burden you, but to set you free. Free from comparison, from bitterness, from pride, from false idols. Free to walk as you were created, to be a reflection of the Creator's light. I wait for you, and I will keep waiting until your heart truly returns to me. From the beginning I placed mercy upon your life, not because you were perfect, but because you belonged to me. Even when you did not know me, I covered you with unchanging love. When darkness sought to devour you, I spoke, and light broke forth, illuminating every shadowed corner. I did not stand afar to observe. I entered your story, upheld you. When you stumbled, wiped your tears when you wept. I saw your trembling hands lifted in worship, and I received them as a precious offering. You were never hidden, never forgotten, for every moment of yours is treasured by me. But now change has come, not in my love for it, never changes, but in the way I must discipline you, for I see pride creeping like a bitter root within your soul. Do you know pride does not strike like a raging storm, but seeps in like rain through the cracks of the soul? It begins with thoughts that seem harmless. Why do you delay? Why are others lifted up while I remain? Why are my prayers not answered? At once. Left outside the light of faith, these questions become seeds of doubt. Doubt gives birth to discontent. Discontent breeds bitterness. And from bitterness, pride arises, whispering that you know better than I, that you have the right to judge my timing and my ways. You do not realize it, but in that moment your spiritual eyes grow dim, and you walk without seeing my direction. I do not reproach you for your tears, nor scold you for cries born of weakness. But I grieve when I see you lose the humility of the beginning. I once saw your eyes shining, needing only me, nothing else. Now those eyes are clouded, always glancing around, comparing, longing for things outside my plan. I am saddened, not because you pray, but because the motive of your prayer has shifted from the center. You pray to prove yourself, to be recognized, to fill the emptiness of comparison, forgetting that I, myself, am your full inheritance. You seek signs, results, immediate provision, but forget that I am not a magic box to serve fleeting desires. I am Father, and Father knows what is best at the right time. Do you remember Esau? For a single meal he sold his birthright, an inheritance of immeasurable worth I had destined for him. And when he realized the loss, he wept bitterly, but could not reclaim it. So it is with you. If you continue trading away my purposes for instant gratification, you too will weep when you see the blessing depart. And Saul, he was chosen by me to be king, but his impatience and pride led him beyond his bounds to do what he was forbidden, and he lost his throne. Do you see, my child, that bitterness, comparison, and pride always end in the same outcome, the loss of what is sacred? I do not want you to go to that place. I did not create you so that you would lose the value for which heaven rejoiced when you appeared. I have placed within you a unique calling, one that no one else can replace. But if you keep trying to become someone else's copy, if you keep chasing what I have not given you, will miss the very treasure that I have already placed within your reach. You do not realize that you already have everything when you have me, that my presence is an inheritance beyond compare. Yet your heart, instead of being satisfied, keeps reaching for fleeting things, leaving your soul thirstier and never filled. My child, return to your first love. Remember the days when you sought me simply to be near, not to gain a reward. Remember the moments when you trembled in my presence, asking for no answers, only needing to know that I was there. It was in that place of humility that you found true strength, true joy, and true peace. I call you back not to lose, but to be restored. When you set me at the center, everything else falls into order. When you release your hidden idols, you will see my light shine once again. I know you are weary. I know you think I am delaying. But I declare to you, I am not slow, as man counts slowness. I am patient that you might have the chance to be refined. Every season of waiting is not abandonment, but preparation. Every silence is not rejection, but a furnace of purification. Look at those who went before you. Abraham waited many years before Israel was born, and his waiting made his faith a model. Joseph was imprisoned and forgotten, but it was in that suffering that I formed him into the leader who would preserve nations. Do you see? Delay is never defeat. It is the prelude to the symphony of glory I am about to release in your life. If you cling to bitterness, you will never hear that melody. If you hold tight to pride, you will never enter the season I have prepared. But if you humble yourself, if you let go, if you set me back upon the throne, you will see blessings come that no one can take away. You must understand I will never compete with idols in your heart. If you raise anything above me, whether it be desire, results, or reputation, it will collapse under its own weight. And when it falls, you will hurt, but that is also when I come to restore if you are willing to return. Remember, my love has never changed. Even when you stumble, I still call you mine. Even when you wander, I still pursue you. Even when you enthrone idols, I still long for your heart. But I cannot pour my glory into a divided heart. I cannot entrust my inheritance to a soul that clings to idols. For my glory is too holy to be mixed. I call you to die to what you thought your life would be, so that I may reveal what it was truly destined for. My thoughts are higher, my ways are better. My timing is perfect. You may be surprised, even confused, but trust me. Trust that my no is as holy as my yes. Trust that when I close a door, it is to open a greater way. Trust that every delay is weaving a tapestry you cannot yet see. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. And when you emerge, you will shine like pure gold. So choose, my child. Today I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life. Choose to return. Choose me not just with words, but with action. With each hidden moment unseen by others. Let your heart soften, let your tears become seeds for a harvest of blessing. Let surrender become the key that unlocks your true destiny. For what is coming will require all of me and you, and I will not share my glory with another. You have never been outside of my sight. I have chosen you, loved you, and called you mine. And today I call you once more, return to your first love, so that the flame of faith may burn as brightly as it did in the beginning. Do not let bitterness blur your vision. Do not let comparison steal your joy. Do not let pride veil my glory. Let me be your all, that you may enter into true life, the abundant life I ordained from the foundation of the world. You have thought the road too slow, that my hand pressed too heavily upon you, that my timing made no sense. But child, was it not that very slowness that kept you from reckless detours? Was it not my silence that shielded you from falling into the traps of pride and haste? You judged too quickly without seeing the whole picture, mistaking my silence for rejection without realizing that in that stillness, my mercy was at work. You have not yet learned to wait in full reverence, nor to tremble at the holiness of my name in seasons that seemed meaningless. Instead of standing humbly in faith, you hurried to sketch your own plans as if the story of your life were not already written by my hand before the foundations of the earth. I see the hidden schemes in your heart, the seeds of fear creeping into the cracks, and I know that unless corrected, those seeds will soon grow into roots that bind you. You do not see that when you seize the pen for yourself, you blur the manuscript I carefully prepared. You do not realize that slowing down is not always delay, but a precise preparation for a sure step. You let your mind race too far, embracing assumptions I never promised. You built walls of ambition thinking they would protect you, but they only imprisoned you from the freedom I intended. The fear within you, my beloved child, is not from me, for I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. Yet when you let anxiety rule, your spiritual eyes grow dim, and you no longer see my footsteps beside you. That very fear turns my silence into a sentence, when in truth it is a pause of grace to teach you that blessing flows not from grasping but from surrender. You have complained that my pace is too slow, but you did not know that I was protecting you from collapsing under the very weight of what you longed for. If I opened the door too soon, your shoulders would break beneath an unready burden. If I thrust you into the result while you were still unformed, that glory would consume rather than illuminate you. How often have you seen delay as failure, forgetting that mighty oaks do not spring up overnight but through storms and years of deep roots? I want you to grow that way so that when placed in a position of influence, no storm can uproot you. You judged my timing wrong, but you did not know that I see across generations, across chains of connection, across eternity. Everything I do moves in perfect rhythm, never early, never late, always on time with my grand design. I have seen when you rushed to carve your own way, you stepped outside my covering. Every time you leaned on your own strength, you let go of my hand. You trusted yourself more than the one who made you. You thought yourself wise enough to plan, strong enough to move forward, but you did not see your hands trembling. I saw the fear that drove you to control, to cling, to measure each step. Yet you did not understand that control is an illusion. The more you try to hold it all, the more you slip away. I have written your life with every detail woven in threads of gold. Every delay has a reason, every silence has a purpose, and every detour still leads to completion. My child, do not accuse my hand of being too heavy. The discipline I place upon you is not a chain of bondage, but wings shaped to teach you to fly in the right direction. A father never allows his beloved child to grow up weak. In the same way, I correct you not to humiliate, but to refine. The vine cannot bear fruit unless its branches are pruned. Therefore, the pain you feel is not rejection, but a purification, removing what would hold you back. If I were to let go and allow you to indulge every desire, that would be true abandonment. But because I love you, I correct you. Because I treasure the destiny of your life, I allow you to pass through the refining fire. That fire does not come to destroy, but to cleanse, to shape you into a vessel worthy of my glory. I long for you to understand that my silence has never been abandonment. It is the space where you may listen to the beat of your own heart, where hidden motives are revealed. In that stillness, all disguises fall away, and only your true self remains before yourself and before me. That is the moment I can touch the places you never wanted anyone to see, the unhealed wounds, the buried doubts, the ambitions you cloak beneath a mask of holiness. That silence is my invitation for you to step out of your shell and return honestly to my embrace. And if you humble yourself, you will realize that the delay I ordain is not neglect, but affirmation that you have not been forgotten, but are being prepared for something greater. Beloved child, I ask that you stop judging my timing. Remember that I am not bound by human clocks or calendars. I dwell beyond time, and I hold the ages in my hand. When I pause, it does not mean the story has ended. When I am silent, it does not mean the page is empty. Every word, every mark, every space in your life has been weighed by me. You think I have forgotten, but in truth, I am writing the deepest chapter of your story in that very stillness. When you learn to trust, even when you cannot see, that is when true faith is revealed. Do not let fear rob you of the wonder I desire to plant in your heart. Do not let haste make you miss the sweetness of waiting. When you choose to run ahead, you may overlook the moments I use to teach. When you grow impatient, you shut your ears to the small but most important lessons. Know that my slowness is not delay, but the artistry of a father carefully preparing everything for you. And if you surrender your heart to such mercy, you will see that what I do surpasses even your boldest dreams. My child, I see the cracks of anxiety within your soul, but I also see the seed of faith that remains. That is why I continue to call you, continue to wait for you, continue to cover you with unchanging love. I do not grow weary in waiting for your return, but my heart aches when you struggle alone. Let me be truly your father. Let me guide you rather than you stumbling in the night. You do not need to prove anything to me, for I know all things, and still I choose you. You do not need to compete with anyone, for your path is unique. I do not compare you to another, so do not measure yourself by their standard. Remember this, my hand is never too heavy to break, but only firm enough to bend into the right shape. My delay is never to cause you to miss, but to guard you from loss. My silence is never rejection, but an invitation to go deeper into trust. If you grasp this truth, your heart will be at peace. If you believe it, your eyes will be filled with light again. And as you walk in that peace and light, you will step into the very path I have appointed, neither a minute too soon nor a second too late. My child, I see within your soul seed sprouting quietly, unseen by others, but known to me, the one who searches all depths. Yet I also see roots of comparison creeping in, stealing the peace you once had. You glance at others, see them advance more quickly, see their hands filled with what you long for, and you begin to wonder why I have not done the same for you. In that moment, doubt speaks, planting the dangerous thought that I delay, that I am unfair. From there, bitterness takes root. and those roots are not shallow where you can easily pull them out, but hidden deep, woven into your thoughts, your dreams, your pains. You may not notice, but in that very hour, darkness finds a door to enter, slowly choking your spiritual sensitivity. And my child, if those roots are not cut at their core, they will grow into a tree, its branches blocking my light, and you will no longer see the true path. You do not yet grasp the greatness of what I have called you to. If you truly saw the weight of the glory I desire to place upon you, you would not dare utter complaints or comparisons. You would fall on your face in reverent awe, trembling before greatness beyond human comprehension. You would recognize that every delay I allow, every trial I permit, is not meant to discourage you, but to prepare your soul to withstand the weight of that glory. For my glory is never as light as you imagine. It is heavy, it burns. It can crush the one who has not been forged to bear it. Out of love I have not hastily placed it upon you, lest it break you and rob you of eternal reward. You thought I called you to live an easy life, but the truth is the opposite. I did not lead you into this journey for comfort, nor merely to enjoy immediate blessings. I called you to be a mark, to leave an influence, to be a witness, so that the world may know me. Your life is not a fleeting breath, but a vessel through which my power, holiness, and love are displayed. But my child, to be a vessel means accepting the chiseling, the fire, the wounds of refining. No sword is sharpened without the furnace. No glass is made pure without the flame. No crown endures without sacrifice. I have placed within you far more than you imagine. I have sown seeds meant to make you a witness, yet those seeds cannot sprout without burial. I know you long for glory. You wish to see results immediately, but remember, the seed only breaks forth when it lies still in dark soil, when it accepts decay, when its hard shell is shattered. This is what I am doing in you. I let you pass through days that feel forgotten nights, with no reply, not to abandon you, but to break open the seed within so that new life may rise. You do not see it, but I watch every drop of sweat, every breath, every silent cry of your heart. I will not pour out my glory upon a heart that refuses correction, for my glory is a fire that consumes all impurity. If your heart is hardened, proud, resisting the process, then my glory will not be light, but fire to burn. I will not place a crown upon the head that refuses the cross, for the crown is not an ornament to display, but the symbol of victory after death to self. I long for you to receive that crown, but I will not force you to walk a path you reject. The choice is yours, to die with me and live in me, or to cling to your life and lose everything. My child, do not mistake my discipline for abandonment. On the contrary, correction is the clearest sign that you belong to me, that you are so valuable I cannot simply leave you unattended. I am not like a careless father who lets his child go wherever they please. I intervene, I refine, I sharpen, because I see in you a future far greater than what you dare to imagine. If I were to leave you alone when you go astray, that would be true abandonment. But I love you too much to remain silent. I love you too much to watch you build your life on sand, only for the storm to come one day and sweep it all away. You are in the process of refinement, and such a process is never pleasant. The fire burns, but it also consumes what does not belong. The crushing weighs on you, but it is what releases the precious oil. Waiting makes you restless, but in waiting you learn humility and endurance. Remember the times I carried you when you could not walk, the times I opened doors when you thought there was no way out, the times I wiped your tears unseen. If I have done this before, how much more will I not forsake you now and in the days to come? You only need to trust that this process is necessary, and it will lead you to places you never thought possible. Do not fear when I strip away what you cling to. I do not take away to leave you empty, but to make room for something greater. You may think loss is failure, but in truth it is the beginning of something larger. As the branch must be pruned to bear more fruit, as the grain must die to sprout, so must your life endure loss to produce a harvest. You must learn to let go so that I may place into your hands what I have prepared. For you cannot hold on to the old and receive the new at the same time. My child, remember that everything I do flows out of love. My love is not weak nor shallow, but a love that sees what will destroy you if I do not intervene. That is why at times My love may appear as rejection, but in truth, it is protection. At times it looks like silence, but it is the loudest word. At times it seems like delay, but it is the guarding of the perfect time. Learn to trust that my love is always greater than your understanding, for only in that love are you truly safe. Therefore, my child, stop your complaining, cease your comparisons, and begin to trust me once more. I have never changed, I have never broken my word. What I have spoken still stands, what I have promised still remains, but I will not fulfill it outside of the process I have set. If you learn this, you will realize that true satisfaction does not come from what you achieve, but from knowing that you belong to me. And when you find your satisfaction in me, you will no longer be ruled by comparison, bitterness, or pride. You will walk lightly, knowing you are in the hands of the one who never fails. Beloved child, I am still patiently waiting for your return. You may stumble, you may wander, you may run away yet. My arms remain open wide. I do not grow weary of loving. I do not regret choosing you. Even when you do not understand, I still see the potential within you. And I will keep calling, keep inviting, keep correcting, until you return to the first love, a love not for reward, not for recognition, but simply to be near me. My child, remember that. My love has never diminished, but it is not a love that indulges your selfish desires. I placed every star in its orbit. Likewise, I have set your life within a flawless design. You are not a wanderer without purpose, but one written into my eternal plan. Yet when your heart drifts from trust, when surrender turns into demand, then my love must become correction. I cannot stand by while you destroy your soul through selfishness and haste. I love you too much to let you walk the wrong road, for today's compromise can steal tomorrow's destiny. Do you know, my child, why refinement is necessary? Because unshaped desires can become burdens, weighing you down instead of lifting you up. If I let you walk while your heart is full of demands, you would build a life upon the fragile foundation of discontent. A house built on sand cannot stand the storm, just as a future built on pride and selfishness will collapse under trial. That is why I must prune, why I must cut back what you cling to, why I must let the fire purge the impurities of your heart. Not to hurt you, but to prepare you to carry the weight of glory I am about to give. A fragile vessel cannot hold the holy oil, just as a heart unwilling to surrender cannot bear the greatness of its calling. Look back at the seasons you have walked through, and you will see my hand in every detail. At times I let you wait, not to punish, but to teach patience. At times I allowed you to taste lack, not because I forgot you, but to show you that fullness is found not in possessions, but in my presence. At times I let you face rejection to teach you that my no is as holy as my yes. For if you rejoice only when I answer, your love for me is still self-serving. I desire a pure love, one that worships even without miracles, that stays faithful even in the desert. You often ask, "Why are you silent, Lord?" But my child, that silence is never distance. It is the place where I test motives, the stillness where I see whether you seek me for who I am or only for what I give. If you only come when you need something, you have turned me into a key to unlock treasures rather than the treasure itself. But if you remain even when no sign appears, your love for me is proven. True love is not built on circumstances, but on relationship. And that is what I am shaping in you. Child discipline is never abandonment. On the contrary, it is the proof of deep love. A careless father leaves his child to do as they please, but I, your heavenly Father, cannot stand idle as you stray from the path of life. I have not called you to live easily, but to live meaningfully. I have not redeemed you to continue in the ways of the world, but to be a witness of my glory. Today's refining fire is not the end, but the foundation on which you will stand tomorrow and shine. Remember Joseph, the son betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned for years. Looking from the outside, you might think I had forsaken him. But through it all, I was there in the pit where he was thrown, in the prison where he was chained. It was through these very trials that I shaped him to carry the great responsibility ahead. When the time came, I lifted him from chains to the second highest throne in Egypt. Without refinement, Joseph would not have been mature enough to bear my plan. Do you see now, discipline is not the end, but the journey that leads to fulfillment in my will. Therefore do not fear when I prune. Every branch cut away is so it may bear more fruit. Every dry season you walk through is to send your roots deeper into the eternal waters. Every not yet I speak is preparing for the perfect now. You must learn to trust me in the darkness so that when the light breaks forth, you may stand firm. Faith is not proven when everything is easy, but when you choose to hold fast even without sight. I require much of you because I have placed much within you. You cannot live as ordinary, for the blood of the Lamb has redeemed you, and my Spirit has sealed you. You cannot allow your soul to be drowned in comparison, bitterness, or selfish ambition, for they will rob you of your spiritual strength. Let me prune those burdens. Let me purify your motives. Let me make you into a vessel clean and ready to receive the holy oil to shine my light to the world. Listen carefully, my child. What I do today is not punishment, but preparation. I am building within you a strength the world cannot destroy. I am planting in you a faith no storm can sweep away. I am forming in you a heart of gratitude, so that even if you lose everything, you still have me, and I am enough. When you understand this, you will no longer seek after miracles, but after the one who works them. You will no longer demand outcomes, but yield your heart for my greater plan. My child, let go of the fear that you have been forgotten. I am still here, closer than your very breath. I guard each step you take. I record every tear that falls. I listen to every hidden sigh. You have never slipped from my hand, not even when you thought you were lost. But now I want you to recognize the truth. The first love must be restored, reverence must be rekindled, surrender must be renewed. Do not chase after what is meaningless, for it will only leave your soul empty. Return to me, for only in me will you find life. And when you return, you will see that nothing I do is in vain. Waiting produces patience. Patience produces mature faith. Mature faith produces strength so that you may lift others up. And then your life will become living proof that God never abandons those he loves. You will become a light, not because you are flawless, but because you have passed through the fire and still kept the flame of worship burning. Hear me once more, my child. This is not the end. This is a new beginning, a season of sowing, so that one day you may reap a great harvest. But you must choose. Choose obedience, choose surrender, choose to return. Do not allow pride, comparison, or bitterness to steal your inheritance. Do not let petty idols take my place in your heart. Choose me not merely with your lips, but with every action, every thought, every unseen moment. If you do, I promise you the harvest of blessing will come in the right time, in the right season, overflowing beyond anything you ever dreamed. Do not mistake my discipline for rejection, my child. When I rebuke, it is because my love is too deep to watch you destroy yourself. Do not let my silence convince you that I am absent, for in the stillness I am yet present. I simply long for you to learn to listen more, to trust more, rather than chase only what your eyes can see. Understand this, even when you hear nothing. That is often the very moment I am speaking most profoundly into the depths of your soul. You are not abandoned, you are being called. Not called to carry false burdens, but to return to full surrender. You have grown weary from striving in your own strength, from trying to prove yourself worthy, from seeking the approval of others. I never asked this of you. What I desire is a humble, contrite heart willing to be molded. When you release control, you will feel my love surround you, and in surrender you will rediscover true strength. Return, beloved child. Return to the place where your heart once trembled at the sound of my name. Return to the place where your eyes once shone with joy in my presence. Return to the place where you were enraptured simply by knowing you were loved. Time and the wear of life have dulled your wonder, but it has not vanished. It waits for you to remember. The first love was never lost, only buried beneath the dust of pride, worry, and comparison. Now I long to breathe a new wind to sweep it clean, to make that flame blaze once again. You have asked me, how can I see the path clearly? How will I know I am truly called? The answer lies in surrender. When you bow low, the light will shine. When you stop fighting to carve your own way, your eyes will open to see who you truly are in me. Not the world's definitions, not the labels others give, but the identity I engraved upon you from the very beginning. You are chosen, an instrument, a bearer of light. But you only remember this when you return to me. Do not despise gratitude. It is not empty words, but the key that opens heaven over your life. When you stop murmuring, stop comparing, and begin to thank me for even the smallest things, your heart will soften. Gratitude does not change circumstances, but it changes perspective. It shifts your focus from what you lack to the abundance I have already given. That is when vision is restored, and you see again the vast canvas I am painting. My child, I did not create you to wander in confusion and darkness. I gave you spiritual eyes, but when you let bitterness, comparison, and pride veil them, you no longer see clearly. I long to wash your eyes with the pure stream of my presence, so that you may see purpose again. That purpose is not fame nor success by human measure. It is that you become a witness of my love, a living witness with every breath, every act, every word, reflecting grace. I call you to remember the moments when I lifted you up. Have you forgotten the times you fell, the times you thought there was no way out? I was there. I stretched out my hand, I gathered your tears, I shielded you from dangers you never even knew. Not so that you would carry a heavy debt, but so you would understand I have never left you and I never will. That is the foundation for your return, not fear, but gratitude and love. Let me say this clearly. You are not destined to live in chaos. You were created to walk in the light. But light dawns only when you surrender, when you acknowledge that I am enough. As long as you seek fulfillment in others, in achievements, in personal ambitions, you will remain empty. But when you pause, breathe deeply, and look to me, you will see that fullness has always been waiting in the Father's arms. You cannot rediscover who you are without seeing me. Your vision cannot be restored without returning to the first love. I am the true mirror reflecting your true identity. The closer you draw to me, the clearer you see yourself. The farther you drift, the more lost you become. This is why I call you now to return, not through ritual, not through habit, but through an eruption of pure love like the very first time. Do not delay, my child. Time does not stand still. Opportunities past blessings have their season. I want you to seize this moment and return, not to take on more burdens, but to lay down what is unnecessary. Not to prove anything, but to rediscover yourself in my love. That is the only place where you will be free, where you will truly live, where you will shine. And when you return, I promise restoration. I will rebuild what was broken. I will revive the dreams you thought had died. I will breathe new life into your weary soul. You will find yourself transformed, not because of your effort, but because I live within you. This is what the first love does. It transforms from the inside out, not by painting over the surface. Let your heart tremble again in my presence, as it did at first. Let every breath rise as an offering of gratitude. Let every step become a song of praise. For this is the road of restoration, the road back to the first love, the love that once set you ablaze and still waits to burn again. My child, I hear your cries each night. I see your longing to know the meaning of your life. You pray for purpose, yet when the process begins, you retreat. You desire to step into honor, but when I lead you into the refining fire, you resist and complain. You say you want to follow my will, but as soon as my design differs from your own dreams, doubt takes root. You have not understood that my will cannot be fulfilled through rebellion or half-heartedness. I am not swayed by fleeting emotions nor compelled by the pressures of the world. I seek faithfulness in you, not outward performance. I desire a whole heart, not clever strategies of the flesh. I want you to walk in obedience, not offer advice as though I need human counsel. When you stop scripting the future on your own, then I can open what I wrote long before time began. The dreams you thought dead, I can breathe life into them. The places you thought hopeless, I can renew and transform beyond comprehension. But this comes only when you are willing to surrender, when your trust is no longer in your ability, relationships, or wisdom, but in me alone. Remember this, all I do is perfectly timed. I am never late yet, never rushed. If I lift you up, it will be in the appointed season, not a second too soon, not a moment too late. Yet you are impatient, like a seed newly sown demanding fruit at once. You want ripened harvest without enduring sun and rain. You wish to see flowers without passing through the winter chill. You long for golden fields, but refuse the labor of tilling. You forget that maturity does not come in an instant, but through a long process built day by day in obedience, hour by hour, in patience, moment by moment, choosing to trust though you see nothing. I will never let you step through great doors unprepared, for I know the weight of glory within them. There are times when I deliberately close the door you are knocking on, not because I reject you, but because behind that door lies something that would destroy your soul. There are moments when I remain silent, not to abandon you, but to test the motives of your heart. There are seasons when I delay, not because I have forgotten, but so that you may learn humility. Each time I lead you into a trial, it is not to crush you, but to refine you. Like gold in the fire, the more you pass through the process, the purer you become. You think I am slow, but I am weaving a masterpiece, and every great work requires time. Remember Joseph. He dreamed of the throne, yet before he was exalted, he endured years in the pit and in prison. Had Joseph grown impatient, had he rebelled and run away, would he have become the savior of an entire people? Or remember David, anointed as king in his youth, yet chased into caves for many years before he sat upon the throne? Do you see? Those whom I choose must all pass through the furnace of preparation. For the greater the glory, the deeper the process. You often wish I would shorten the road, but if I did, you would be too fragile for the first storm. You want me to open the door at once, but if I did, the very weight of the glory would crush you before you were ready to carry it. My child, waiting is not a punishment, it is a privilege. In waiting, you learn humility. In waiting, you learn to place me first. In waiting, you discover that I, myself, not the outcome, am the true reward. Yet you are tempted by shortcuts. You see the world moving quickly, and you long to chase after it. You see others being lifted up, and impatience burns within you for your own portion, but you do not realize that every shortcut carries a heavy price. You may taste success for a moment, but it will vanish like foam on the sea. You may climb high, but without a firm foundation, the fall will be all the more painful. You do not need instant success. You need a foundation that endures. You do not need fleeting fame. You need my eternal presence. So, my child, stop rushing to map out your future as if I were not wise enough to lead you. Stop calculating as though everything depended on your control. Stop devising endless strategies as if you held the universe in your hands. You do not need control, you need surrender. You do not need every answer, you need trust, knowing I hold all things. When you entrust your dream to me, I breathe life into it. When you place your hope in my hands, I lift it up in its appointed season. When you choose to trust me, even in hidden places, I will exalt you in the open before all. You need not fear what others think, nor worry who is running ahead of you. I am not bound by human clocks. I am not pressured by applause or criticism. I do not alter my plan to please the world. I do not bless rebellion. I only bless the heart that is wholly mine, and when I act, no one can stop it. When I exalt, no one can bring down. When I open a door, no one can shut it. My child, the time has come for you to stop resisting the process. Allow me to prune away fruitless branches that you may bear much fruit. Allow me to remove the burdens you placed upon yourself that you may walk free. Allow me to uproot misguided ambitions that I may sow in you pure desires. Allow me to shape, to heal, to renew. If you resist, you only lengthen the journey. But if you yield, you will find the harvest comes sooner than you think. I know there are moments you feel alone. You think no one understands what you are going through. But my child, I am there. I see every tear, I hear every whisper. I do not abandon you in the furnace. I stand with you in the flames. And it is there that the chains are burned away. It is there that you step out without even the smell of smoke upon you. You will see that the process does not destroy you. It sets you free. Choose trust even when your eyes cannot see. Choose patience even when your heart longs to rush. Choose obedience even when reason resists. For faith is not seeing before you believe, but believing before you see. Faith is not clinging to your own plans, but entrusting them all to me. Faith is not grasping tighter, but letting go so that I may hold. And when you truly believe you will see me do far beyond all you ask or imagine, do not let the turmoil of the world shake you. I am not the God of chaos. Do not let fleeting emotions make you doubt. I am not swayed by unstable waves of the heart. Do not let the pressure of others force you to hurry. I do not bow to any pressure. I am the unchanging one, the same yesterday, today, and forever. If you anchor yourself in me, no storm will sweep you away. Beloved child, what I seek is not perfection in every action, but steadfastness in faith. I do not ask for performance, I desire intimacy. I do not want clever strategies, I want a sincere heart. I do not require your long-term plans, I ask only for obedience in the small steps. I do not demand that you understand it all. I only ask that you walk with me, for when you walk with me, I will show the way. When you hold my hand, I will lead you to safety. When you give me everything, I will bring everything to completion. So do not worry about tomorrow. Do not fear what is yet to come. Do not grieve the door not yet opened. Do not despair over dreams not yet fulfilled. Every season has its appointed time. Every seed needs soil and water. Every great work requires time. And so it is with you. I am building you not for a moment, but for eternity. I am preparing you not for vanity, but that my glory may be revealed. I am lifting you up not to satisfy ambition, but to bring life to many. Be patient, be faithful in the little things. Keep a humble heart. Place me above all. In due time I will raise you up. When the harvest ripens, you will see the fruit. When the doors of heaven open, no one can close them. And then you will know that every waiting, every tear, every quiet act of obedience was never wasted. I love you with an unfailing love. I call you not to lose you, but to lead you into true life. Trust me once again, surrender once again, return once again. For when you choose me, you will find everything. My child, engrave this in your heart: I will never contend with the idols you nurture. I do not chase after you to seize your attention when your heart leans toward what is fleeting. I am not placed in a position where I must prove myself before your selfish desires or the ambitions you cling to. If you exalt your own cravings as the supreme throne, they will never stand firm, for every structure built upon sand collapses before the storm. If you worship success, fame, or outcomes, those very things will become chains that leave your soul hollow. I have seen many rise to great heights, yet their hearts fell into deep ravines because they traded my presence for passing applause. Remember this: there is no glory in this world that can replace me. A throne may shake, a reputation may be forgotten, an achievement may be buried under the dust of time, but my presence is eternal, the source of life, the stream that never runs dry. When you chase after false lights, you turn your back on the true sun. When you fix your heart on what others think, you miss the gentle yet powerful voice that comes from me. Do not forget, my child, that only in me will you find fullness. My child, I call you to look back on the path you have traveled. How many times have I drawn you out of the pit without you even realizing it? How many times have I shielded you when arrows flew in the night? At times you thought it was mere luck, but in truth it was my hand stretched out in the raw sea. Protection. When your mind was tormented, when your sleep was restless, I whispered peace to calm you. When you despaired, I opened doors you never expected. When you prayed in tears, I listened and answered, sometimes in ways you did not at once recognize, yet always at the right time. You cannot deny that I carried you on my shoulders when you were too weak to walk on your own. Do not forget those nights when you cried for help and I came with comfort. Do not forget the days when you had no strength and I poured new strength into you. Do not forget the times I sent a person, a word, or even a small event that shifted the entire course of things. I blessed you not because you were worthy, but because my love never changes. You have never been alone in the battle. Even when you thought you fought by yourself, in truth, legions of angels surrounded you to guard you. Yet, my child, if your eyes remain fixed only on success, you will forget the very one who held you firm. If you continue to elevate your own desires above all else, you will unknowingly build walls that separate you from me. You will chase after results while missing the source of all results. You will cling to blessings while forgetting the giver. Do you see the paradox? Once your heart is divided, true joy disappears. You may hold many things in your hands, yet inside emptiness and endless longing remain. My child, I do not seek ornate rituals or dazzling achievements. I seek your true heart. I long for you to know how to kneel in humility, to weep when you are far from me, to rejoice in my presence rather than in the applause of men. I desire a love that is not deluded by idols, not divided by selfish ambitions. Only such love can keep you steadfast. Only such love can keep the fire within you burning bright so that nothing can extinguish it. Do not forget how far I have brought you. Every step you took bore the imprint of my footsteps beside yours. When you stumbled, I steadied you. When you despaired, I lifted you. When you closed doors, I opened them. When you wept in silence, I gathered your tears into prayers. If I have done this for you in the past, will you not believe that I will continue to do so in your present and future? I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I do not change, and neither does my love for you. Therefore, my child, do not exchange true life for illusions. Do not sell eternal joy for the fleeting caresses of the world. Do not let selfish desires become a counterfeit throne within you. Step away from the spiral of comparison, fame, and results, and return to my presence where all things are sufficient. Remember, I do not ask you to prove yourself, only to surrender. I do not ask you to run faster, only to walk with me. I do not ask you to become someone else, only to return to the very self I created you to be. My child, examine your heart. If any idol has taken its place, let it fall. If any desire rises above me, lay it down at the foot of the cross. If any outcome makes you forget me, pause and release it. For no blessing is worth exchanging for my presence, and no achievement can fill the emptiness that only I can fill. Return to the first love, the love that longed only to be with me, to love me, not for blessings but for who I am. You see, all that you have today did not come from your own strength. It came from grace, from mercy, from the countless times I redeemed you when you were undeserving. Hold this truth close so that your heart remains tender, so that you stop chasing after what is vain. For once you set your heart on me, you will thirst no more. You will find contentment, peace, and a higher purpose that nothing else can replace. And in that moment you will walk in true freedom, no longer a slave to fame, to outcomes, or to idols of your own making, but belonging only to me, wholly and forever. My child, I do not ask for part of you, I ask for all of you. For I am not one who shares the throne with any idol. A divided heart can never stand, just as a house built on sand cannot endure. You may think I am pleased with the fragments you offer, but the truth is, I desire your whole heart, every hidden corner, every thought, every dream. You want to keep a portion for yourself, but that very part you clutch will cause you to stumble. I call you not to half-hearted obedience, but to die to what you once thought your life would be, so that I may show you what it was always meant to be within my eternal design. Will you dare? Will you dare let me break the plans you have clung to? Will you dare let me touch the places you have tried to hide? I know what I ask sounds hard, but, my child, it is in this surrender that you will truly find the freedom your probate soul has long craved. You often look toward the future with fear, for it does not resemble what you once imagined. But you do not know that what I have prepared surpasses all that you could ever conceive. My thoughts are always higher. You calculate with finite numbers, but I build with infinite wisdom. You walk with eyes that see only today, but I hold all history and all future in my hands. You limit yourself by your past, but I am not bound by your failures or mistakes. You tremble at the opinions of men, but I am never threatened by them, and you need not be enslaved to their judgment. You belong to me, and to me alone. I see you shrink back at times only because others do not perceive what I have planted in you. You doubt your worth because they have not yet recognized it. You hesitate when my promises are not yet visible before their eyes, but remember, none of them is the one who called you. None of them is the author of your story. None of them has the power to determine your destiny. Why then do you let their gaze become your chains when I, myself, chose you before you were formed? Remember, I am not bound by their opinions, and neither should you be bound by them. You often ask me, why are you silent? Why have I not seen your promise fulfilled? My child, understand this delay is not denial, it is preparation. I will not release you into your calling until your heart is rightly aligned. If I open doors too soon, what you have not yet learned will destroy you. If I give you glory while your heart is still filled with pride, it will become a burden that crushes you. If I grant you a crown without the cross, that throne will become a snare. Therefore I withhold not to punish but to protect my child. I am the Father full of love, yet my love is not fragile like that of mankind. This love is strong enough to say no when you demand something before its appointed time. It is strong enough to close the door to your desires lest you walk into a dead end. It is strong enough to let you spend long nights in prayer without seeing an answer, only so that you may learn that I, myself, am your portion, and I am enough. Sometimes this love causes you pain, but that pain is the very sign that I am still touching you, still shaping you, still keeping you close. I know you are weary. I hear your sighs when you see others blessed quickly while you remain in the waiting. You think I have forgotten you, but my child, you do not realize that even now heaven is moving, arranging each fragment into its place, so that at the appointed time, everything will fit together into a perfect picture. If I showed you everything at once, you would not bear the weight. You would not comprehend the wisdom woven into every detail. That is why I hold it in my hand, revealing only when your heart is ready. Look at the life of Joseph. From a dream I gave him, his path did not lead straight to the throne, but through the pit, through prison, through betrayal. If he had judged those dark days with human eyes, surely he would have thought I had abandoned him. But my child, it was in the prison that I trained him to govern. It was in betrayal that he learned to forgive. It was in waiting that he was forged in patience. And at the right time I raised him up not only to save himself, but to deliver an entire nation. Do you see? Preparation is never wasted. It is the foundation of the glory I have appointed. So, my child, cease your questioning when the road feels strange. You need not understand everything in order to walk in faith. If you walk only when you understand, that is not faith. The eyes of the flesh see only what lies ahead, but faith opens the door to see what I see. Trust me even when darkness covers you. Trust me even when your dream seems to have died. Trust me even when silence lingers. For it is in the silence that I am working deepest, in the hidden places no human eye can see. Do not shrink back, my child. Do not fear when others fail to recognize what I have placed in you. Do not doubt when they cannot see your worth. Your worth is not in their eyes, but in the word I have spoken. I have called you. My beloved, I have sealed you with my spirit, and no one can remove that seal. Though they may doubt you, though they may scorn you, my word endures forever. You were not made to live by the approval of the many, but to live pleasing to me alone. I am not limited by your past. Every mistake, every wound, every failure, I have seen it all, yet none of these can hinder my plan. On the contrary, I use those very fragments to weave a more beautiful design. Your tears will become streams that refresh others. The scars upon your soul will become testimonies of healing. You are not defined by what has been, but by the one who has chosen you and called your name from eternity. My word still stands, my child, and not one word falls to the ground without fulfillment. Yet understand this, I will not bring you into it until your heart is prepared. Glory is not the reward of the proud, but the inheritance of the humble. I am not hurried, for I know the cost of haste. I am not delayed, for I know the exact time. You may think I am late, but I have never missed an appointment. All things rest in my hand, and my hand has never trembled. Therefore let your heart rest in this process. This is not punishment, it is preparation. This is not abandonment, it is love. This is not an ending, it is the beginning of a new chapter. Let me reorder everything within you, so that when glory is revealed, you may stand firm without fear, bear the weight without breaking shine, without being consumed. You will be the testimony that I am the faithful one, the promise keeper, the one who makes all things beautiful in his time. My child, I am placing you in a process that is not comfortable, but it is necessary. This is not the end, but the threshing floor where every grain is sifted, where every chain is broken. I am using fire and pressure to separate what is of me from what is not. You may feel as though you are losing, but in truth, I am only stripping away the unnecessary layers that the essence within may be revealed. Just as wheat must be separated from chaff, so must your life be refined to preserve purity, holiness, and usefulness. If I do not do this work, you will carry burdens not meant for you into your destiny. The fears, the doubts, the lies that have clung to you for years would become stones bound to your feet, keeping you from moving far. I cannot allow this, for I have called you to a higher purpose. You think I wound you, but I am setting you free. You think I take away, but I am returning to you a freedom you have never known. Consider this: you cannot fulfill my calling while clinging to doubt. You cannot walk fully in my heavenly design while holding distractions close. A divided heart cannot carry glory. Therefore, I must call you to choose. There is no middle road, no safe compromise. You must choose life or death, blessing or curse. You cannot follow me while embracing darkness. You cannot long for blessing while clutching disobedience. Choose life, my child. True life is not found in fleeting success or passing praise, but in my presence. Choose obedience not only in what others see, but in the hidden moments when no one watches but me. A true life is measured not by eloquent sermons or loud deeds, but by the quiet choices made when no one is there but I. Do you choose forgiveness or cling to bitterness? Do you choose to wait patiently or to rush into your own will? Do you choose faithfulness even when there is no reward? It is in these moments that your true heart is revealed. I know this is not easy. You will have to surrender what you are accustomed to, lay down desires you have exalted too high. You will have to let me shatter the idols you built, leaving your soul bare before my light. But my child, believe this: every pain in this process is birthing new life. Just as a seed must die in the soil to bear much fruit, so must you die to false expectations in order to rise into your true calling. Remember Abraham when I asked him to lay Isaac on the altar. It was not because I needed the blood of the child, but because I sought to test whether Abraham would place me above every blessing. When he obeyed, I stayed his hand, and in that very moment he stepped into a blessing greater than anything he could have imagined. Do you see? Obedience opens the door to blessing, while clinging to idols only leads to loss. And so today I call you to return. Return to your first love, where your heart sought nothing but my presence. Return to the wonder of the secret place where you knelt not to demand but simply to be near me. Return to the satisfaction found in me, where you know that though the world strip everything away, I am still enough. Return to the flame that once burned within you, the flame the world and its cares have smothered. Know this, my child, this choice is not only for today but for eternity. When you choose life, you are sowing seeds for the generations to come. When you choose obedience, you are laying a foundation for blessing to flow to your children's children. When you choose me, you leave behind a spiritual inheritance greater than all earthly achievements. But if you refuse, if you continue to embrace doubt, bitterness, and ambition, you are opening the door to curse not only upon your life, but upon those who follow after you. My beloved child, I do not desire to see you walk in destruction. I did not call you only to abandon you. I am stretching out my hands, waiting for you to return. Do not think that your past has corrupted you beyond the point of no return. Do not believe the lie that you have gone too far to be forgiven. My love is greater than every failure. My grace is deeper than every pit you have ever fallen into. The blood of the Lamb is strong enough to erase every trace of sin and to grant you a new beginning. But you must choose. I cannot choose for you. I have given you free will, for true love never forces itself. I can show you the path of life, I can call to you, I can discipline you, but the final step must be yours. Walk in obedience, step out of the shadows, step into the place where my light shines. Let heaven and earth bear witness that you have chosen me, chosen life, chosen blessing. And when you choose, you will see that every pain of today is only temporary, but the glory I am preparing is eternal. Every loss you thought was defeat will become a testimony of my abundant provision. Every tear will be wiped away, and every wound will be healed. You will become living proof that no one who trusts in me is ever put to shame, and no one who chooses me will ever regret it. You will be lifted up not by your own merits, but by my grace. My child, this is the hour of decision. Rend your heart, not merely your garments. Humble yourself, not only in outward change. Allow me to renew your soul, that you may step into a new season, a season of purity, of holiness, and of usefulness. This is not the end, but the beginning. Not a loss, but a preparation. Not a rejection, but an invitation. I am calling you even in this very moment. Choose life. My child, if your eyes were open to see the whole picture, you would weep unceasingly in worship. You would tremble as you realize how great are the things I have prepared for you. The blessings, the opportunities, the spiritual inheritance I am nurturing through your life far surpass anything your mind has ever dreamed. Yet because your spiritual eyes are still dim, you see only delays, disappointments, and meaningless silences. You do not know that those very long, seemingly empty days are laying the foundation for you to carry the glory I am about to release. If you could see the final outcome, you would let go instantly of the fleeting things you are clinging to. You have not yet understood that I do not require the ambitions of rulers. I require the posture of a servant. The world teaches you to compete, to climb higher, to assert yourself through position and power. But I tell you, only those who bow low are truly lifted up. I am not seeking the hand that longs to rule, but the heart that is willing to serve. For rulers may build empires for themselves, but servants will build my kingdom. Remember my beloved Son. He came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. If he himself chose the path of the servant, how could you choose any other? I know the pain you carry. I know the dreams you once cherished, but then buried under ashes. I see the nights when you sighed in the dark, the times you thought you had missed your way, missed your season. But my child, I am never late. Time in my hand is not measured as mankind counts. You see delay, but I see preparation. You see loss, but I see restoration. You see an ending, but I see a beginning. You must believe that I am still writing the story even when the page before you looks blank. Let me tell you this, every moment, whether painful or sweet, is a thread I am weaving into the tapestry of your life. You see only the tangled backside with its meaningless knots, but I behold the front, where the radiant image is emerging in beauty. No thread is wasted, no color is in vain. Every season you endure, every trial you withstand, every tear you shed, all are becoming part of the masterpiece. If you could see the whole, you would understand that even the darkness is being used by me to create contrast that magnifies the light. Even silence has its purpose. My silence is not abandonment, but an invitation to hear something deeper than noise, the whisper of my spirit within your heart. When all other sounds fade, when every pathway seems closed, it is then you learn to recognize my still voice. Even waiting carries weight. It is like a seed buried in the soil, in darkness, in stillness. It germinates and sends roots deep. You see nothing on the surface, but beneath the ground life is forming. If you dig too soon, you destroy it. But if you wait with patience, in due season it will rise strong and fruitful. My child, faith is not believing when all is clear, but believing when nothing is seen. Faith is walking through the night, trusting that I am still holding your hand. Patience is not restless waiting, but resting in trust that I make all things beautiful in their time. If I have spoken a promise, it will surely come to pass. Not a second early, not a minute late. What I seek in you is not calculation, but endurance. Not ambition, but surrender. Not outward ritual, but true holiness of heart. I am calling you back not merely to keep the habit of prayer or reading scripture as a formality, but to tremble in my presence. Holiness is not a mask of morality before others, but a tender heart before me. You can deceive the eyes around you, but I search the depths of your heart. You may do many good works, but if the motive is impure, they lose their worth. Remember, what I seek is not performance, but genuine surrender. If you could understand what I am forming, you would see that not one tear is wasted, not one day of waiting in vain. You would see that it is pain itself that has shaped you into a vessel fit to carry my glory. You would realize that the very dreams you thought had died are seeds for a greater harvest. and you would understand that I have never forsaken you, but have been present in every moment, every breath, every beat of your heart. Rise up, my child, and return in reverence, not only performing rituals, but living each day with the awareness that I am right beside you, not only walking in habit, but in holiness, knowing that every choice, every word, every action reflects me. That is how you will regain clarity, recover identity, and restore vision. And when vision is restored, you will not wander, for your eyes will behold my hand guiding you through every season until the inheritance is fully revealed. My child, return to me not with outward rituals, but with a truly broken heart. Fasting days, tears, laments, they have value only when they flow from a repentant heart longing to be near me. I do not look at garments torn, but at a heart made tender after seasons of hardness. Let your soul pour out before me like a river breaking its banks, that lies bitterness and pride may be washed away. For what I desire is not a dramatic display of emotion, but a transformation at the root where your soul bows and acknowledges that I alone am the source of life. Understand this, I do not speak these words in anger, but in longing. My love is not a flame that burns out, but an eternal fire, yet the flame in your heart must be rekindled. I am not distant. I have never abandoned you. On the contrary, I am closer than your very breath. You have never stepped outside my gaze, yet many times you have turned your face from my eyes. I long to walk with you again, as in the first days when you came to know me. I desire that communion restored, a bond unbroken, unhindered, untouched by ambition or comparison. Do you still remember that very first wonder, the moment you first realized that I was present when the songs rose from your lips, not out of duty but from a heart overflowing with gratitude? That is what I long to restore. That joy has never died. It has only been covered by the dust of worries and desires. I want to wipe it clean so it shines once more. I want to rekindle the flame that once set your heart ablaze with faith rather than let it fade into cold ashes. But my child, I do not force you. I did not create you as a lifeless machine. I gave you a will so that you might love me freely, not under compulsion, not by coercion. Therefore the choice remains in your hands. My arms are open wide, but you must take the step. I extend the opportunity, but you must receive it. I wait like a father gazing down the distant road, longing to see the prodigal appear on the horizon. And the moment you decide to return, I will not stand still. I will run to you, embrace you in arms that never run dry of love. I will not greet you with reproach, but with a banquet of restoration. I will not raise up a wall of guilt before you, but break off the chains so that you may walk free. When you choose to return, fruit will blossom in every season. No longer will you sow, only to reap disappointment, for I myself will make you fruitful. That fruit will not spring from your own strength or effort, but from surrender. When you rely on yourself, you will run dry. But when you yield, my life will flow, refreshing and renewing you. Then you will become like a tree planted by streams of water, unafraid even in drought, for your roots sink deep into the eternal source. My child, do not mistake returning to me as stepping into a confined life. On the contrary, surrender brings true freedom. As long as you cling to control, you remain bound by fear. But when you entrust all to me, fear dissolves. In its place comes unshakable peace, a freedom that nothing on this earth can bestow. This is not bondage but release. Not loss but discovery of your true self. Not death but life abundant. I know there are days you think I am distant, nights you believe I am silent, yet even then I whisper into the depths of your soul. My voice is not loud, but it is clear to those who pause to listen. I do not rush to shout over the noise. I wait until your heart is still, for only in stillness can you hear the sound of grace. You do not need to chase after me to faraway places, for I am near at the call of a sincere prayer. I am present. Never forget, it is in mourning that I bring forth life. It is in your tears that I wipe your eyes. It is when you pour out your heart that I pour in my presence. Do not fear the tears, for they wash away pride. Do not deny your weakness, for in weakness my strength is made perfect. Do not hide your wounds, for I do not come to condemn but to heal. I long to turn scars into testimonies of grace, to transform burdens into songs of glory. You must know that you have never been abandoned. If I desire fellowship, it is not because I need you, but because you need me. I am the source, you are the branch. Apart from me you wither, but in me you will bear fruit, and your life will testify to many. They will not see human strength in you, but transformation from heaven. Then you will become light in the darkness, salt amid tastelessness, an instrument for my glory. Beloved child, the choice still lies before you. I do not conceal the cost of turning away, but neither do I hide the joy of coming home. You may keep running, seeking satisfaction in worldly things, but the end is emptiness. You may turn your face away, but soon darkness will cover you. Or you may return today, and I will open the gates of heaven for you. I will clothe you with new garments, place a ring upon your hand, and restore the honor that was lost. Nothing in the past can prevent me from writing a new story of glory, as long as you choose surrender. So come, delay no longer. Do not think you have gone too far. Do not believe you have been lost too long. Do not accept the lie that you are unworthy. I have already paid the price with the blood of my only Son, so you might return. No sin is too great for my grace to cover. No wound too deep for my love to heal. No road too dark for my light to pierce. Choose today, not tomorrow. Return in fasting, that the flesh may weaken, but the spirit be strengthened. Return in tears, that your heart may be cleansed of its dust. Return in mourning, that true joy may be planted again. And when you take one step, I will take 10. When you turn back, I will run to you. When you surrender, I will lift you up. My child, this is the moment of decision. Return, that your first love may blaze again. Return, that the flame of faith may shine brightly. Return, that your life may become a garden yielding fruit in every season. Not by your power, but by mine. Not by your effort, but by surrender. Then heaven will rejoice, earth will bear witness, and you will know returning is not merely a new beginning, but a step into the destiny prepared for you since the foundation of time. Once again, my beloved, I call you to trust in me. Do not let your limited sight cause you to doubt what is unfolding. I see farther than you can see. I know deeper than you can understand. I hold even what surpasses your small imagination. You see a broken picture, but I am weaving the whole. You see a narrow path, but I am readying a broad road to life. You see delay, but I see growth. Every no I give is not rejection, but protection. Believe that my refusals are as holy as my approvals, for I am a loving Father who withholds nothing but what would harm you, always giving what preserves your soul. You often think blessing only comes when I say yes, but true blessing is sometimes hidden within a no. When I close a door, you weep, thinking you lost an opportunity, but I have spared you from a precipice. When I hold back what you thought was good, it is because I am preparing something better beyond your dreams. Trust me, you are not forgotten, not forsaken. You are in the refining process where true gold is separated from dross, where precious gems are formed under pressure. You may think the waiting is pointless, but in that waiting I am shaping your character, building spiritual strength, so you will be steadfast for what is coming. Let the fire complete its work. Do not fear when it burns around you. It is not the fire of destruction, but of refinement. The fire removes what is unnecessary, leaving the true self forged. When you feel pressed on every side, do not run, for it is in that pressure that precious oil is released. That oil is not for you alone, but to heal others, to light darkened lands. You cannot bear fruit without the crushing. You cannot release fragrance without being ground down. This is not cruelty, but the way I reveal my power through your life. You often pray for blessing, but the greatest blessing is not what I give, it is myself within you. Waiting is not to weary you, but to teach you to worship. When you hold nothing in your hands, you can still lift them in praise. When you see no results, you can still bow in thanks. True worship is not born of abundance, but of gratitude even in lack. Let waiting become the school that teaches you dependence, that softens your heart and shifts your faith from what is seen to the invisible yet all-powerful. My child, what is coming demands more than you imagine. It will not only draw out your strength, but require all of me within you. If you rely only on yourself, you will collapse. If you lean only on your own understanding, you will be lost. But if you center your life on me, if you allow my spirit to fill you, you will become a vessel of power that no force can withstand. For the work I long to do through you is not built on ability but on surrender. A heart fully yielded is worth more than the most gifted but hardened talent. You may feel small, but with me and you can move a generation. Remember this, I will not share my glory with anything else. It is not because I am selfish, but because only I am great enough to bear that glory. If I were to place my glory upon you while your heart is still unrefined, it would crush you. Glory cannot be shared with pride, nor can it rest upon an inflated self. It only descends upon a humble heart, one that knows every good thing comes from me. You must choose, either let me be glorified through your life, or keep clinging to the dim counterfeit light. I will not force you, but I call you. This is the hour of choice, my child. You cannot walk both paths. You cannot pursue me while still clutching your idols. You cannot long for my presence while being consumed with selfish ambition. Choose life, the true life that comes from me, not the fleeting one the world promises. Choose the light, the unfading light that guides even through the deepest nights. Choose to become exactly as I created you, not distorted by comparison, not stained by ambition, not withered by bitterness. You were made to shine, to reflect my image, to carry the fragrance of heaven into a dying world. Know this, I still love you even when you stumble, even when you stray. My love does not change according to your actions. I love because I am love itself, and that nature never changes. I still call you mine, even when you are far. I still wait with patience, even when you are slow to return. But my child, do not delay any longer. This call is not only to comfort, but to summon you higher. You cannot remain forever in a safe place in an old shell. I am calling you forward into deeper trust, into greater obedience, into a renewed vision of holiness. Choose today. Do not let tomorrow come and still leave your heart undecided. The world is sinking into darkness, and I need you to be a lamp. You may think you are not enough, but it is in your weakness that my power is made perfect. Let me use you not when you are flawless, but when you are surrendered. Give me your wounds, your disappointments, your shattered dreams. I will turn them into testimonies of grace, into new songs echoing in the desert. I will turn your life into a mirror so others may see that God still works, wonders, still renews, still redeems. My child, I know this decision is not easy. But look again, what in this life can compare to my presence? What could ever replace the joy of being called the child of the Eternal One? What achievement is great enough to fill the emptiness of a heart without me? Choose me, not only with your lips, but with your life. Choose me in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions when no one is watching. Choose me in the small daily choices, for it is those very choices that shape your soul. I stand at the door of your heart and knock. If you open, I will come and dine with you and dwell with you. You will no longer be alone, no longer lost in confusion. You will walk in the light, bring life to the dying, and become a witness of love that never changes. I wait for you, my beloved. Choose me today, and you will find yourself again just as I created you, just as I ordained you, just as you were always meant to be. Beloved one, you were made in my image, not only to bear an outward likeness, but to reflect my very nature. I have placed within you the seal of kindness, the breath of truth, and the spark of my glory. Each time you live in alignment with this, you become a reflection of heavenly light in a darkened world. But when you act outside of love, when your words pierce like spears and wound others, when your heart harbors resentment and bitterness, it is not only they who suffer, it is I who feel it. For I do not remain distant, merely observing from above, but I dwell in the hearts of those who believe in me. And when you trample on them, you trample on me. My child, I am not blind to what unfolds in the hidden chambers of the heart. I see the motives no one else knows, the secret calculations, the silent sighs. I see the judgments whispered within the grudges you conceal and the selfish thoughts you refuse to admit. Each time you nurture them, they become invisible chains pulling your soul further from the source of life. You think you are harming others, but in truth you are surrendering your own freedom. For every seed of bitterness you plant grows into a wall that separates you from my light. You were called to reflect my kindness. But kindness is not an option, it is a command. You are called to live in truth, but truth is not mere recitation. It is how you face one another with integrity. You were created to reveal my glory, but glory is not measured by grandeur, but by a heart that humbles itself to serve. Each time you refuse to love you, refuse to let the world see me through your life. And each time you harden your heart, you dim the very light meant to blaze within you. I remind you of the image of Jesus, my only Son. He washed the feet of those who would betray him, forgave the ones who nailed him to the cross, and looked upon the mocking crowd with compassion, not contempt. If my Son chose the way of love, why do you excuse yourself to cling to hatred? If he chose forgiveness in his deepest pain, why do you permit your heart to grasp bitterness? Do you not understand that every time you refuse to love, you are refusing my very nature within you? I do not seek from you grand displays. I do not demand shouts upon your lips. What I desire is a tender heart, one that feels another's pain, that stoops low to lift the weak, that extends a hand to the fallen. When you love, you reveal to the world that I am love. When you forgive, you declare that grace is stronger than sin. When you sacrifice, you bear witness that eternal life is worth more than fleeting gain. Do not deceive yourself, my child. You may gather, read scripture, lift prayers, but without love it is all empty. You may speak my name, preach about me, accomplish mighty works in my name, but without kindness in your heart you remain far from me. For I am love, and all who belong to me must embody that love. This is not optional, it is the evidence of a truly transformed heart. I see the coldness that grips today's world. People trample one another with words, scorn differences, shut their hearts to the suffering of others. But I did not create you to be like them. I created you to be a flame in the night, a stream in the desert. When you love in a world consumed by hate, you are doing what no one expects, and it is there that you reflect me most clearly. Remember, love is not weakness. It is strength in obedience. Forgiveness is not indulgence. It is the power that breaks chains. Kindness is not naivete. It is the mark of a heart that has encountered Christ. I am not moved by victories you achieve in your own strength, but I am deeply moved by the moments you choose, love in secret patience, when misunderstood, sacrifice when unseen. If you say you love me, yet refuse to love your neighbor, your words are empty. If you claim to draw near to me, yet mistreat the weak, your heart is not truly mine. For I have said, what you do to the least of these you do to me. When you care for them, you care for me. When you neglect them, you neglect me. There is no separation between love for me and the way you treat others. My child, I know love is not easy. Forgiveness can tear at the heart. Kindness may feel like loss. But when you choose the harder way, I will strengthen you. My spirit will fill you, so that love will no longer flow from your strength, but from me within you. You were never called to love by your own ability, but to be the vessel through which my love flows. Open your heart and let that river pour through you into the thirsty souls around you. And as you walk in love, you will find healing within yourself. Bitterness will melt, hatred will crumble, chains will fall away. Love not only frees others, it frees you. It will open within you a joy no one can steal, a peace nothing can shake. And then you will understand you were created not to live for yourself, but to be a mirror of my light upon the earth. Return, my child. Return to your first love. Let that flame ignite once more within you. Do not allow your heart to grow hardened by wounds or fear. Do not let the world define your worth. Allow my love to shape you, for that is your true essence. When you live in love, you not only resemble me, but you also draw many others back to me. This is the high calling I have placed upon you, and nothing else can replace it. My child, from the very beginning, you were never created to love on your own strength. Human love is too limited, too easily conditioned, too quick to wither when faced with betrayal and pain. You can only love through the power that comes from me, for I am the source of all love. I know well the limits within you. Yet I also know that when my spirit dwells in you, love can flow from you like a river that never runs dry. That is why I am always here, always ready to fill you when you call upon me. You are never alone, and you will never be beyond the reach of my embrace. I am calling you to rise higher, not merely to remain at the place of knowing who I am, but to truly live in that love. To rise higher means to abandon shallow love, conditional love, love reserved only for those you find easy to embrace. To go deeper means allowing my love to lead you into the harder places, to love your enemies, to forgive those who wound you, to be patient with those who seem impossible to bear. This is the very path my beloved Son walked, the one who washed the feet of his betrayer, who forgave those who nailed him to the cross, who loved until his final breath. I call you to walk upon that same road. The love you show must be genuine, not false, not self-serving, not given only to receive. It must spring from gratitude, for you were loved first. You may speak many fine words, sing many songs of praise, proclaim many truths, but without love, it is all but meaningless noise. The world will not recognize you as my disciple by knowledge or accomplishments, but by the way you love. You may earn degrees, build great works, but without love they carry no eternal weight. Yet even the smallest act of love, giving water to the thirsty, offering an embrace to the lonely, is seen by me, and all of heaven rejoices. Remember, your life itself is a living letter, written not with ink but with love. Others will read your life, will see each action, each response, each forgiveness, and they will discern my imprint upon you. I long for the world to read the love of Jesus through your very being, not through plaques upon the wall, but through how you treat the weak, how you remain kind amid injustice, how you choose forgiveness over resentment. Then your life will become a living testimony to the gospel, leading others to believe not by argument, but by witnessing truth embodied in you. My child, love completely. Love with all your heart, without ceasing, without calculation. Love as Jesus loved. Love to the end. Love through sacrifice. Love even when rejected. Do not fear that such love will bring you pain, for true love always calls for sacrifice. Yet it is within that sacrifice that you become more like me. And as you walk in such love, you will find yourself nearer to me than ever before. For love is the heartbeat of my own heart, and when you love, your heart beats in rhythm with mine. Every act of love, no matter how small, draws you closer to me. Each time you choose patience over anger, you step further into my likeness. Each time you choose humility over pride, you allow my light to shine through you. True love is not a fleeting feeling, but a daily choice. It is the decision to forgive when bitterness is easier. It is to bless when cursing would come more naturally. It is to sacrifice when keeping for yourself feels safer. And with every such choice, another line is written in the living letter I am sending to the world through you. Do not think I demand perfection. What I desire is not a flawless life, but a continual journey toward love. I delight when I see you persevere in love, even when it is hard. I smile when you forgive yet again, though you are wounded. I am pleased when you take the hand of the weak, even if no one notices. It is these small things that stir my heart. You do not need grand performances, you need true presence. Presence in love. Abide with me, my child. Walk with me, so that love is not merely a theory, but a transforming power in your life. When you let love rule, you will see barriers collapse, walls of hatred fall, chains of bitterness break. This world does not need another theory. It needs real love. And that love I long to show through you. Do not wait until you feel ready to love. Love, even in lack, for love itself will fill you. Do not wait until others change to forgive. Forgive first, because love does not wait for conditions. Do not limit love to those like yourself. Extend it to those who are different. That is how I have loved. I loved you before you knew me. I forgave when you still resisted. And when you let this love flow through you, the world will see you are no longer the same. You will become light in the darkness, salt in the tasteless, warmth in the cold. Not by your own strength, but by the power of my love. Then you will not merely live, but you will allow me to live through you. Let love become the greatest legacy of your life. Not fame, not wealth, not achievements, but a life remembered for kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. A life that causes others to say, "This one has been with Jesus and loved as he loved." That is the truest testimony. That is how the world will know you belong to me. Therefore, my child, let love guide your every step. Let it shape every decision, illuminate every relationship, define every plan. Love until there is nothing left to give, and then my love will continue to flow through you unending. And when you love this way, you will find yourself nearer to my heart than ever before, for I am love. My child, time is no longer long. I am calling you not with a whisper of wind, but with thunder resounding within. Do not keep avoiding, do not cling to trivial things when I long to place a crown upon your head. I did not create you to wander in the desert of bitterness and comparison, but to enter the promised land where my love flows without end. Yet you must choose. Today, this very moment, you must decide to remain with the old that has withered or to break forth into the abundant life I have prepared. Know this, every choice carries consequence. If you continue rejecting true love, all that remains will be fragments of emptiness. But if you return, if you bow in humility and surrender, I will do something new. I will open doors you thought forever shut. I will rekindle the flame in your heart that was nearly extinguished. I will give you wings to soar above every temptation, every trial, not because you deserve it, but because I am faithful. So, my child, do not hear these words as a passing breeze. Engrave them upon your heart. Let them be a bell, awakening the depths of your soul. I do not promise you an easy path, but I promise my presence. I do not promise the absence of pain, but I promise to turn pain into seeds of glory. I do not promise everyone will understand, but I promise I will call you by your name, a name written in the book of life. Rise, my beloved child. Let your love not be words alone, but a living heartbeat that transforms the world around you. Do not let fear or pride restrain you. Do not let darkness quench the light. Step forward, strong, courageous, whole in my love. And when you do, heaven will rejoice, and the world will know you truly belong to me. This is the hour to blaze, to return to live in all I have destined for you. Now, my child, open your whole heart. Lift your cry not merely with lips, but with the depth of your spirit. Let this prayer not be sound alone, but the very breath of your soul. Almighty God, I come before you with a broken heart longing to be renewed. I confess that I have allowed pride, comparison, and discontent to cloud my spiritual eyes. I admit that many times I asked for great purposes, yet resisted the process you led me through. I demanded, "You answer according to my way," instead of trusting your perfect timing. Lord, forgive my impatience and resistance. Uproot the silent roots of bitterness within me. Grant me a humble, tender, teachable heart. Help me no longer chase earthly results, but thirst only for your presence. I lay down my dreams, my desires, even what I do not understand upon your altar. Breathe new life into dead dreams and make me an instrument for eternal glory. Holy Father, who knows every thought within me, I return today asking to be cleansed. I have placed success and results upon the throne instead of you. I have made my desires into idols, forgetting that you are the source of life. I pursued applause, yet remained empty. I sought recognition, yet reaped only weariness. Forgive me for letting pride take root. Break every chain of arrogance, every selfish veil that blinds me. Make my soul pure as glass. Rekindle in me the flame of first love that I may need only you. Let my heart be an altar, forever burning, untouched by worry or comparison. I surrender, I yield, I walk in obedience until your will becomes mine. Father, I thank you for though I stumble many times, you have never left me. I know I have never been abandoned, for your hand has always upheld me. I know that with every tear you have listened and gathered them. I thank you for your endless patience, for waiting for me to return instead of turning away. I know you kept me even in my wandering. I thank you for unchanging love, jealous yet tender. I thank you that you do not crown pride, yet you still offer me the chance to be corrected. I thank you that correction itself is proof that I belong to you. I thank you that grace still flows and mercy is new every morning. Loving Father, I thank you that grace has covered my failings. I thank you that you see me not through my failures but through the blood of your Son. I thank you that in my weakness your strength is revealed. I thank you that even when I strayed, you ran to embrace me as the Father embraced the prodigal. I thank you that the fire of first love can be restored. I thank you that joy was never lost, only waiting to be renewed. I thank you that your light still shines brightly, ready to pierce the darkness within. I thank you that you are the fountain of life, my inheritance, my unshakable portion. Eternal One, I give thanks that you chose me before the world was formed. I thank you that I was created not to blend in but to reflect holiness. I thank you that each day you patiently refine me, though I resist often. I thank you that you withhold steps until my heart is ready. I thank you that you love enough to prune love, enough to discipline, love enough to keep me in process. I thank you that your glory will be revealed fully in my life, not too soon, not too late. I thank you that you are the promise keeper, the one who never errs, the Father who is ever near. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so together we may build a strong community of faith.